The international reaction, first of all, will be that there's disappointment. That Switzerland will not enact a corporate tax reform that at the same time will abolish or amend regimes that have been considered harmful by the EU and the OECD. Based on the negative vote, I expect that the OECD and the EU will now internally reflect how to proceed with this matter of harmful tax regimes in Switzerland. First of all, the European Union has a long-standing debate with Switzerland on their cantonal tax regimes, already since 2007. So this has been dragging on for many years. And I think the European institutions will be looking for closure on the harmful regimes and maybe separate that from the corporate tax reform. The European Union is currently working on a so-called external strategy. In this strategy, they are reviewing and assessing tax regimes in the whole world, and Switzerland is part of that process. If you look at the results of the tax regime evaluation in the past year, we have seen that the cantonal tax regimes have already been considered harmful by the OECD and the EU. In the context of the external strategy, I think that the EU would be willing to include those regimes on a tentative assessment list for Switzerland. This brings with it the risk that if this matter is not resolved by the end of 2017, Switzerland might end up on this tax haven blacklist of the EU. Based on an European Union tax haven blacklist, one could imagine that the member states want to include defensive measures once a jurisdiction is on that blacklist. Currently, the EU member states did not agree on those defensive measures, but we have seen that the European Commission in documents has suggested that we could think of, for example, suspension or termination of tax treaties, withholding taxes on payments to a tax haven, or denying of deductibility of a payment to a tax haven. What companies are looking for is certainty. Certainty in an uncertain future. And currently with international taxation, we are in a perfect storm. The international tax policymakers are changing tax rules quite rapidly, and this tax haven blacklist is one of those initiatives. And once a company is able to engage with the government and tries to look for certainty, I think the governments will be willing to listen and take on board their concerns, and perhaps the Swiss government in the relationship with the EU could be looking for a compromise way out. For example, that for existing beneficiaries of regimes that have been found harmful, there would be a transitional arrangement so that the companies involved have the time to reflect on further steps in their tax structure.